and career as a coach of the LA Chargers is always also over.
About
You
time.
know,
About time.
you
God
know,
said.
we all kind of feel I kind of in that same boat with you. It seems like there's a lot of dumb play calls. They brought in Kellen Moore, hoping that it'll change a lot. But how you feel about this firing?
I mean, you really wasted the season. He should have got fired last year. I mean, people were screaming, screaming, and then it's pretty sad that this is the point. Like when they get 42 points scored on them in the first half and they lose 63 to 20. This is the last straw. And then his post game interview, I kind of do feel bad for him because I mean, what is this man gonna say? Like how how does he respond to this? Like to any of these questions? And he kind of had the never quit, don't die mentality, but it seemed he was oblivious to what was going around him, and that everything is just horrible around him. So it's about time. That's my first thought, and then my second thought is, what took you so long? Because you really did waste a year of a lot of talent. Like Austin Eckler, he's going to be terrible after this year. Like this was probably his last decent year. He has lost a step, to say the least. That man is slow. Keenan Allen, I mean, he's starting to regress a little bit. He ain't that boy. I mean, he's still good. He's fantasy wise great, but like when it comes to like top tier receiver, he's gonna start slipping out of that top 10 soon. And then Mike Williams, dude's good, but we know can't stay healthy. So now you're wasting another year of him. So it's just, and then Herbert, your franchise, you wasted that year. And then on the defensive side of the ball, Bosa, Khalil Mack, and Derwin James. You had three, probably they're all somewhere in their prime still. And that should have been a mean defense. Y'all should have made a run. This really should have been a run for y'all, especially with Burrow getting hurt and how weak the AFC's been. I mean, this should have been your year to make a run. And it kind of got wasted because you didn't make a coaching change that you knew had to happen after losing a three-score lead in the wild card round of last year's playoffs. So I don't know. That's how my thoughts are.
Okay, well,
Yeah, I second what Howard said. I don't really understand how you go into the season confidently with Brandon Staley after miscue after miscue after miscue after miscue after last year. And the team was so talented last year that they were able to overcome those miscues and still find themselves in a wild card game. Then the team went out there and balled out in the wild card, and then you take the gas off the offense and sit back on defense, and you let the Jags march you down and take the game out, pull the rug out from underneath you, and then you come into this year with the same slapdick shit that you were doing last year. I'm surprised you made it this far. Now, I think with Herbert being down for the season, you couldn't have foreseen that happening, whether there was a coaching change or not, or like that, you couldn't have foreseen that happening. So even if you did bring in a great coach or elevated a new coach and got Staley out of there, I think just the morale of the team, like you see what's going on in Las Vegas, the guy that they paid to be the quarterbacks hasn't played in weeks, but they have another kid in there. He's playing. It's all about morale and if you can get your guys to believe in you. And I don't think that locker room believed in Staley long after, well before Justin Herbert went down. You know, and it's crazy that it took an ass whooping on prime time by like 40
No.
50 points to be like, yeah, I don't think this is the guy. I don't think this is the guy. And then when you fire the head coach, you got to bring the GM with him because he's the one that
Yeah.
signed him. He's bringing him in there, you
right.
know. So like Howard said, I mean, regardless of whatever happened this year, this is probably Keenan's best statistical year he's had in like 3 years because the injuries last year and the year before that were kind of nabbed him a little bit. He missed a game or two this year, but I mean, he was proficient, efficient, was actually dominating some Sundays for real. Eckler, I mean, he's a running back, an undersized running back at that. We've seen this movie before, but was he misused this year? A hell of a lot, you know? And yeah, I mean, that defense is stupid expensive. I mean, you're still paying JC Jackson a lot of money to go
Mhm.
play for the bank, to go play for the Patriots. Bosa, you just signed with that giant ass deal. You inherited Khalil Mack's huge deal, and Derwin James is a premium player. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like they're barren on talent. You know what I'm saying? They've got talent at all three levels on their defense. They've got talent on that side of the ball. So it's going to be a very attractive job. And in California too, LA, new stadium, all stuff like that. So really,
Yeah,
the only way to go up for the Chargers is up. So that's the beauty of it. But you have to nail the coaching hire, and you got to get a good GM in there who isn't so full of himself, and can look at when guys are starting to deteriorate and move on from them. You get what I'm saying?
yeah.
Instead of
Nah,
trying to keep it, because you keep the same core together over and over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? It's just you're gonna waste younger dudes' primes trying to hold on to older guys, and it's gonna implode.
yeah, no, I'm definitely with you. It just seems like for him to be a defensive coach and not get the level of play out of that defense is absolutely terrible. You know what I mean? Because when you look at it, y'all named all the pieces, but y'all also forgot about Asante Samuel Jr.
Yeah,
He's
good.
a
Yeah.
nice corner out there. It's like you got all this talent out there, but it's always constant underperforming, losing leads from this team. And it seems like why at this point, I feel like, they're probably trying to make it through the season and then get rid of him next year, but they should have got rid of him 3, 4, 5 weeks ago. Like it don't make sense. Like, you know what I mean? That they did wait to this time in order to be like, yeah, now it's time to get rid of him. The Herbert thing, I mean, Herbert played most of the season. He just got hurt. And at this point, they ain't got nothing to play for. So it don't make sense for him to come back, get healthy, get ready for next year. And the problem is when you got a quarterback that's, still in his prime that um should be talent wise top five. Play wise, he don't get to he don't always play to the play and always get to the playoffs and win the big games to the point where we're like, oh, we can put him in the top five. But he got all the talent to be that. You can say Kennan losing stuff, but I mean, at 30, what he's like 30 something. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but his game isn't a very
Yeah.
it's not too taxing on the body. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not putting himself in dangerous positions and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I mean, the Fernando Lewis stuff now is cool, and they got pieces because okay, we know Mike Williams get hurt pretty much every year. We never to this extent where it's like an ACL taking him out the full year, or he get more play. But Josh Palmer, he's a good. They're hoping. Maybe Huge is a project. Quentin Johnson is a project, and he's going to need a couple of years in order to become who he's supposed to be, but at this point, they definitely got to get a coach in there that's going to, change something. You know what I mean? And I feel like
No, I can't
they're gonna have their
change,
options in the
even
future.
if I try.
But all right, we can move on because like they moved on from Staley.
Yeah.